1. What if Earth passed through a black hole's accretion disk? A black hole's accretion disk is one of the most dangerous places in the universe, a swirling, superheated ring of gas, dust, and shredded stars orbiting just outside the event horizon. If Earth somehow entered the outer region of such a disk, it would be bathed in lethal levels of X-ray and gamma radiation. Satellites would fail instantly. The ozone layer would burn off. Solar panels would overload. Electronics would fry, and our atmosphere might start to degrade. Massive climate collapse would follow. Even underground or underwater, life would struggle to survive long-term. To put it simply, we wouldn't be pulled in instantly, but we'd suffer a slow and brutal extinction unless we found a way to escape fast. 2. What if the sun turned into a red giant tomorrow? In about 5 billion years, the sun will expand into a red giant, swelling out beyond Earth's current orbit. But what if that happened tomorrow? Within days, Earth would be uninhabitable. The oceans would boil, the surface would become a furnace, and the atmosphere would be stripped away into space. Within a few weeks, Earth would likely be engulfed entirely. The outer planets, like Jupiter and Saturn, might briefly become warm enough to host life. Moons like Europa or Enceladus could thaw, revealing their oceans. But the window would be short. Eventually, the sun would shed its outer layers, leaving behind a dense white dwarf. The only survival strategy? Flee Earth before it happens, which would require technology we don't yet have. 3. What if we could terraform Venus? Venus is the most Earth-like planet in size and mass, but that's where the similarities end. Its surface is 900 degrees Celsius, with atmospheric pressure 90 times Earth's and clouds of sulfuric acid. Terraforming it would be one of humanity's greatest engineering challenges. Step 1. Reduce the thick carbon dioxide atmosphere, possibly by using bacteria, giant solar reflectors, or shipping CO2 off-world. Next, you'd need to cool the planet dramatically and introduce water. Some have proposed space-based shades to block sunlight or crashing icy asteroids to seed oceans. If we could spin Venus faster, its current day lasts 243 Earth days, it could gain more Earth-like conditions. Terraforming Venus would take centuries or even millennia. But if successful, it would double the number of habitable planets in our solar system. 4. What if we detonated a nuclear bomb on the Moon? Without an atmosphere, a nuclear blast on the Moon wouldn't have a fireball or mushroom cloud like on Earth, but it would still be visible. The flash would be seen from Earth with the naked eye, followed by a cloud of dust and glowing debris. It wouldn't crack the Moon in half, not even close, but it would leave a massive crater and eject radioactive material into lunar orbit. Some of it could potentially reach Earth. The real consequences would be political and psychological. The Moon is a symbol of peace and exploration. Scarring it with a bomb could violate treaties, provoke global outrage, and destroy cooperation in space. It might also kickstart a new space arms race. The lesson? Even in space, Earth's politics follow us. 5. What if Earth tilted on its side like Uranus? Uranus is tilted over 98 degrees, meaning it essentially rolls around the sun. If Earth had a similar axial tilt, everything would change. One hemisphere would face continuous sunlight for months, like a never-ending summer, while the other would be locked in winter darkness. Crops would fail on a massive scale. Animals would struggle to migrate. Weather systems would become extreme, with superstorms forming along the day-night boundary. Polar ice might melt entirely on one side, while freezing solid on the other. Coastal cities could be submerged or frozen over, depending on the season. Only certain latitudes around the equator might stay livable year-round. Humanity would be forced to abandon large parts of the planet and rebuild civilization around the twilight zones between extremes. 6. What if the sun had a twin? Many stars are born in binary or even triple systems. It's possible the sun once had a companion, a twin star scientists have nicknamed Nemesis. Nemesis could have been a dim red dwarf or a rogue star that drifted away early in the sun's life. Some theories suggest that if it existed, it may have disturbed the Oort cloud every few million years, sending comets hurtling toward Earth and causing mass extinctions. If Nemesis were still out there and returned, it could destabilize planetary orbits, increase the risk of comet impacts, and send Earth into a new era of chaos. Right now, we have no proof of its existence. But the search continues, and if we ever spot a faint, dark companion star nearby, it may explain some of the greatest mysteries in Earth's history. 7. What if Earth orbit crossed an interstellar object's path? In 2017, a mysterious object called Oumuamua flew through our solar system. Fast, silent, and unlike anything we'd seen before. Some even speculated it could be artificial. Now imagine if a similar interstellar object crossed directly into Earth's orbit. If it was small, it might just burn up in the atmosphere, a harmless but historic event. But if it were massive or moving too fast to be deflected, it could cause a global disaster. Even worse, what if it wasn't natural at all? If it showed signs of construction or intelligent origin, the focus would shift from survival to first contact or defense. Are we prepared for that kind of cosmic encounter? Probably not. But space doesn't need our permission. 8. What if space itself started expanding faster? The universe is expanding, and that expansion is speeding up due to dark energy. But if it suddenly accelerated far beyond current rates, we'd be in danger of the Big Rip. First, distant galaxies would vanish from view as light could no longer reach us. Then gravitationally bound systems, like galaxies, star systems, and eventually planets, would be torn apart. In the final moments, even atoms themselves could be ripped apart by the overwhelming expansion. Time, space, and matter would disintegrate. No one knows when or if this will happen, but it's one of the most terrifying fates science can predict. An end, not by explosion, but by unraveling. 9. What if we could harness a black hole for energy? Black holes don't just destroy, they could be the most efficient energy sources in the universe. As matter falls in, it accelerates and heats up, releasing vast amounts of energy in the accretion disk. One method to harvest this is the Penrose process, where you steal energy from the black hole's spin. Another uses Hawking radiation, where black holes slowly emit particles as they evaporate. In theory, a small black hole with the right containment tech could power an entire planet, or even a fleet of interstellar ships. Harnessing one would require godlike engineering, but it might be the key to becoming a Type 2 or 3 civilization. 10. What if a quasar aimed at Earth? Quasars are among the brightest and most dangerous phenomena in the universe, powered by supermassive black holes devouring matter at galactic centers. If a quasar's jet were pointed directly at Earth, the gamma radiation could strip our ozone layer in seconds. Plants would die, ocean ecosystems would collapse, and mass extinctions would begin. The atmosphere could heat up from the inside. Electronics would fry. Entire continents might become uninhabitable. Fortunately, quasars tend to exist in distant galaxies. But in a universe this vast, one sudden realignment could change everything, and we'd only have light years to prepare. 11. What if Mars had never lost its magnetic field? Billions of years ago, Mars may have looked a lot like Earth. Rivers, lakes, maybe even oceans. But it lost its magnetic field, and with it, its ability to shield the atmosphere from solar wind. If that field had held, Mars might still have liquid water. Temperatures would be higher. The air might be breathable with light assistance. Life, or even intelligent life, could have developed. For humanity, it would be our perfect backup planet. Colonization would already be underway, maybe even complete. We'd be a multi-planet species. Mars might have been our first home, or our second chance. 12. What if we could see gravity? Imagine being able to see gravitational fields, the way space bends around massive objects. Planets would glow with transparent halos. Stars would warp the light behind them. You'd see invisible structures, like dark matter filaments, connecting galaxies. Black holes would twist their surroundings like a whirlpool of light. Such a vision would revolutionize physics, astronomy, and even navigation. We'd find exoplanets faster, understand cosmic expansion better, possibly even manipulate gravity itself. Seeing gravity would be like unlocking a hidden dimension, one we've always been living in, but never fully understood.